Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another stream, another early stream today, which is good. I don't like to start my streams kind of late. But guys, welcome. Today, of course, we're gonna talk about Bitcoin. Okay, give you guys a little update. What's happening in the market today? Okay, I'm just gonna make sure everything's good. My mic's working and whatnot. All right. So, Bitcoin right now, currently $25,900, just under, just below $26,000, still holding up very strong in my opinion. I've been, telling us that many times. There's a lot of negative news, a lot of FUD spreading around the crypto space, and Bitcoin's holding up very, very well, right? Compared to other altcoins, right? Bitcoin, in my opinion, is like holding the best right now. Okay, it really is. Like, it's understandable why altcoins have in fact been dropping for the past few days, okay, because of course the SEC, right, were in fact naming a fair few altcoin securities, and that obviously spooked a lot of people, especially other exchanges like Robinhood, and they decided to delist Cardano, Polygon, and Solana. That's why we saw three of those altcoins drop massively, but they are in fact slowly recovering. They slowly recovered yesterday. They were in fact pumping, and today they're still holding up pretty well as well, I must say. But the market today, okay, it's not really moving. Okay, the global crypto market cap as of right now is coming out 1.05 trillion, so it's still above 1 trillion. Great to see it, love to see it. But overall, not much movements, okay. Bitcoin is still holding up very strong. Ethereum is still holding up pretty strong, at $1,700, not too bad. And other altcoins are slowly but surely will recover as well. But yeah, not much movement today, I must say. But in this video, guys, I want to talk about Bitcoin, because if you guys have in fact been watching my videos, then I've been mentioning that Bitcoin will eventually reach $100,000, reaching a new all-time high. We know Bitcoin's previous all-time high was in fact at $69,000, so almost 7K. We didn't quite hit it yet, but it was all the way up here. You guys can clearly see that, 69.1K. And ever since then, you guys can clearly see Bitcoin has just been dropping, right? All of 2022. Bad times. Very bad times. And yeah, Bitcoin dropped pretty much over 70% from its previous all-time highs to its low. And that was in fact a over 70% drop, around 74% or 77%, almost 80% drop, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Absolutely crazy. And you guys can clearly see, like, Bitcoin is nowhere near its previous all-time highs. Like, we're not even halfway there. So that's why I've been telling guys, it's still a great time to, stack more Bitcoin, to accumulate more Bitcoin. Okay, it really is a great time, to do all that, especially altcoins. Like, if you want to get into altcoins right now, we know, a couple of days ago, last week, even a couple of months ago, altcoins were dirt cheap. And literally just 2 days ago, altcoins were dropping massively. Majority of these altcoins. So think about it. It's even cheaper than where it was before, and it was already cheap. So right now it's like even cheaper. So if you're planning on buying majority of these altcoins, I would highly suggest you guys to get in now, right? Yes, we could see more drops in the next upcoming few days, short term, right? Maybe in the next few weeks, but eventually, right, in the next bull market, the bull market's going to happen very, very soon. We'll know the halving for Bitcoin's going to happen in less than 1 year from now. And once that happens, we're going to see Bitcoin pump and a lot of these altcoins. And I know a lot of these altcoins can easily 20x from here in the next bull market, right? Can easily 20x. So take action now, stack now, accumulate now, buy now. And then once we're in a bull market and majority of these altcoins, 10x, 20x, 30x, even 50x, that's when you want to take your profits, right? That's how people pretty much make money with crypto. But yeah, I'll show you guys this. It's pretty interesting and it's true, right? Do the math. If you guys haven't seen my most previous video, definitely check it out. I uploaded it like 1 hour ago, so check out that video if you guys haven't already. But in that video, I showed you guys this, right? Because it's pretty interesting. And if you guys are in fact, OG viewers and subscribers, then you guys would know. I've been talking about, accumulating at least one single Bitcoin. Ever since I started this YouTube channel early of 2022, I've been telling guys ever since to accumulate at least one Bitcoin, because this one Bitcoin will potentially make you wealthy, right? Potentially, right? There's just not enough Bitcoins to go around, guys. Okay, do the math. There's around estimated 8 billion people, 8 billion people around the world, and there's only 21 million Bitcoins. Not everyone can own a single coin. Think about it. So if you're watching this stream right now and you own one full coin, one full Bitcoin, just know you're in the 1%, right, of owning one full Bitcoin, because a lot of people out there, can't afford to own one full Bitcoin. And it's understandable, right? It's pretty expensive. But that's going to get more harder and harder and harder to accumulate one full Bitcoin, because the price of Bitcoin will eventually keep rising, guys. Okay, it will eventually keep rising. The supply is low, so that means the demand will rise, right? The price will eventually keep rising, like what it's been doing for the past few years, right? 10 years ago, back in, let's just say 2013, one Bitcoin was going for around over $100. Right, let's have a look at that, actually. 2013, let's have a look. Okay. 2012, 2013. Okay, so at one point, 2013, Bitcoin went all the way up to $1,000. But then remember, it dropped massively. You guys can clearly see that. Wow, Bitcoin pumped in 2013. So look at that. Not early 2013, May. Look at that, right? 16th of May, Bitcoin was at like $114. And then went all the way down to like $76, right? And then it pumped all the way up to $1,000. I did not know that. That's actually crazy. And then look at that, it dropped all the way back down to $200. So think about it, right? 10 years later, this is where Bitcoin is at right now. Remember, Bitcoin was all the way up here at one point. So this is what I always tell you guys, Bitcoin is in fact, scarce, okay? And of course, it has store of value, right? It really does. So think about it, right? If you're watching the stream and you own one full coin, one full Bitcoin, you are blessed. You're in the 1%, right? Think about that. There's not enough Bitcoins to go around to everyone. There's estimated, think about it this way, right? There's 8 billion people around the world. Think about it this way. There's estimated to be around 54 millionaires, okay? 54 million people that are in fact millionaires, okay, that have over $1 million. Not even all of them can own one full Bitcoin. It's just not enough. That's how scarce Bitcoin is, guys, right? So that's why I really do believe we will in fact see Bitcoin easily reach 100K in the next bull market, 200K, maybe even 300K. And right, in the next few years, long term, okay, down the road, 2030, 2033, 2032 even, we could potentially see Bitcoin at $1 million. That's not impossible. I think that's very possible, right? It really is. Look at this. Okay, only 0.27% of the global population can own one Bitcoin each. Think about that. Like that's a different, perspective to look at it, right? You guys can clearly see that. This is absolutely crazy. Like only 0.27% of the global population can own one Bitcoin each. This is how scarce Bitcoin is, guys. Okay, I've been telling us that many, many times. And that's why, guys, when I'm investing into crypto, I mainly just stick with the basics, okay? Pretty much just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are, in fact, my biggest holdings and the ones that I'm really, keeping my eye on. Pretty much, yes, I don't just put my money into one whole basket, but I try my best to move my money around, right? But yes, my main investments and my biggest bags and holdings are, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially Bitcoin, right? So I'm obviously going to continue to stack more, buy more, accumulate more, 100%, right? We are, in fact, not even near, its previous all-time high, so it's still a great time to buy more, okay? A lot of people are, in fact, saying that we are, in fact, in a bull market, but no, we're not, right? I wouldn't say we are, in fact, 100% in the next bull market just yet, okay? The halving hasn't even happened yet. Bitcoin's not even near its previous all-time highs yet. So still, in my opinion, we're obviously in a bear market, right? Still, but we are slowly getting up there because you guys can clearly see Bitcoin has been pumping and creating a new pattern to the upside, breaking out of this falling pattern, you know what I mean, that we have in fact been seeing for all of 2022. So yes, we hit bottom, okay, right there, and clearly Bitcoin is in fact breaking out of it, right? So that's why I always tell you guys, you know, it's all ups from here because it's creating a new pattern to the upside, right? So yeah, think about that, right? Bitcoin is very scarce, okay? And this is why I always tell you guys to own one full Bitcoin, because yes, this one Bitcoin could potentially make you a millionaire in the future. That's if Bitcoin reaches, I say if, it will eventually, call me crazy, but yes, we will in fact see a $1 million Bitcoin in the future. Okay, it will just happen, believe it or not, right? So yes, imagine you own one full coin. Okay, let's just say you invest $26,000. You buy one full Bitcoin right now at $25,000, right? Now, when you're investing into Bitcoin, you don't have to invest, you know, $25,000 straight up, right? You can easily just dollar cost average, right? Let's just say you want to invest, I don't know, $20,000 into Bitcoin. You can easily just split that in 25%, right? 25%. So you want to invest that 20K, 25%, right? Each month. So $5,000 each month or so, right? It's really up to you. You know what I mean? But that's that. Let's just say, right, you make an investment of 25K. Okay, let's just say you buy one full Bitcoin right now. You make an investment of $25,000. Let's just say this is just an example, right? And then you just hold that investment. You hold that coin, right? You store it somewhere safe, like a cold wallet or a hard wallet. I highly suggest that. And then, right, once Bitcoin reaches over $1 million, obviously you'll be a millionaire, right? So it will obviously create some type of wealth for you guys, right? And this is for the people that are not there yet, you know what I mean, that are not financially free, that don't have a lot of wealth. Okay, this is for the people I'm talking about all that, right? For all the people out there that don't have a lot of wealth, you know what I mean? But I really do believe, okay, this is obviously not financial advice, but one Bitcoin will potentially, right, do that for you in the future. Call me crazy, but I think it will. Okay, and many people out there think the same as well. So I've showed you guys this before. Okay, total supply 21 million. It's kind of blurry. Should I do it like that? Nah, I'll just do it like this. 21 million. Okay, 16 million spendable. 1.9 million, so less than 2 million available for purchase. Think about that now. And 5 million have in fact been lost. So I don't know if you guys know this, right? Out of the 21 million, yes, 5 million Bitcoins have in fact been lost, you know, throughout the year. So that makes it even more scarce. You know, 21 million is already scarce itself. 5 million, okay? Like we lost 5 million. So we have what, like 16 million Bitcoins left, okay? You know, in the circulating supply. That makes it even more scarce. So just think about that, guys, right? Just think about that. And yes, you know, in the next few years, okay, long term, we will in fact be losing more Bitcoins. Okay, just how it works. Maybe someone, you know, bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin, they put it in a cold wallet or hard wallet, and maybe they don't have access to it anymore because maybe they forgot their key phrases or something like that, or their password. They don't have, you know, access to it anymore, and it's lost, right? I know many people, you know, that accumulated and bought and adopted a whole bunch of Bitcoin, you know, back in 2011, 2012, and they put it in a hard wallet and they don't have access to it anymore, right? We know that story of that person. I forgot his name, but I'm pretty sure you guys know who I'm talking about. How that person bought literally like thousands of Bitcoins, right? And this was back in like the early years, right? And he stored it into like a hard wallet, right? Like a little ledger. And he forgot the password to it. And he only has like 2 more chances, okay, of guessing his password, right? If he gets it all wrong, then it's gone forever, right? I'm pretty sure we know that story, which is pretty crazy. And check this out. We know this, right? Kathy Wood predicts Bitcoin's price to reach $1 million by 2030. That is less than 7 years. Kathy Wood, we know she is really into Bitcoin. Okay, we know that, right? She's a big investor into Bitcoin. She's really bullish with Bitcoin, and her predictions for Bitcoin to reach $1 million is by the year 2030. And that is less than 7 years from now, right? Literally less than 7 years from now. So if you really think about it, it's not that long, right? It may seem long if you really think about it, but if you just really think, right, less than 7 years, it's not that long for an investment to turn into, over $1 million, or it could be more than $1 million, right? It depends how much Bitcoin you hold. Okay, so just think about that, guys. Just think about it. Fingrid index is currently neutral, 47, so still not much movements. I'm actually surprised this is actually in neutral, not in fear mode. When we saw like about 2 days ago when the crypto market was down like 5% overall. I'm surprised we're actually in neutral, right? Even yesterday, last week, and last month, we were all in neutral, right? Not much movements, which is good. You know what I mean? I'm not complaining, because I would have thought this would have dropped even more since the market was dropping massively like 2 days ago, but I guess not. Now, I want to show you guys this clip. Okay, I want to show you guys this clip of Leopard. And he says that Bitcoin will hit 100K in 2024. And, I've been mentioning that many times as well. My personal price prediction for Bitcoin for the year 2024 will reach at least 100K, reaching a new all-time high, right? So for all the people wondering out there, when will Bitcoin reach 100K? Personally, I think it's going to be towards the end of the year in 2024, right? I do in fact see Bitcoin reaching 100K in the year 2024, most likely towards the end of the year. So maybe October, November, or even December, okay? And then in 2025, that's when Bitcoin will really, really skyrocket, right? So yes, I think Bitcoin will easily reach 100K in the year 2024. We know the halving is going to be in that year, and it's going to happen less than 1 year from now. And we know what happens, right? Every single time we see a halving for Bitcoin, it always pumps the most, okay? Not just Bitcoin, but other altcoins, right? The entire market follows Bitcoin and pumps with it. And it's saying that Bitcoin will eventually reach $10 million per Bitcoin, which is crazy. So I want you guys to watch this video. I've seen a little bit of it, but not too much.
Well, she must be thinking, it must poll well. She must be thinking that her voters will like it. Look, some of the anger against crypto, and let me start off and make a very important distinction, okay? In my opinion, Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency with any value, full stop. I don't even believe in Ethereum. And
that is crazy. So Larry here is saying that he only really believes in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the only one that has value, and he doesn't even believe in Ethereum, which is crazy. I kind of disagree with that one, right? But that's just
and explain that.
That's just his personal opinion, right? Everyone has their own opinions, but it's understandable. If you really want to invest into crypto and you want to really be safe with it, yes, just invest into Bitcoin. Even Ethereum. I think Ethereum is great as well, right? I really do. I think Ethereum, in the next few years, long term, will perform amazing. A lot of people are in fact saying that Bitcoin will flip. Ethereum will flip Bitcoin, not by price but by market cap. So a lot of people are in fact saying that the flipping, that's what they call it, is going to happen, right? For Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum's going to be number one, and Bitcoin's going to be number two. People think Ethereum's market cap will rise even more than Bitcoin's, but that's just other people's opinions.
Very quickly, why? It's because Bitcoin has a decentralized management structure, decentralized organization structure, and it's because Bitcoin has a known monetary policy where there'll only be 21 million of them. Every other cryptocurrency, in my opinion, is an unregulated security. It has a CEO, and they have a policy of issuing some number of tokens based upon what the CEO or others say. And as long as that's the case, it's really just like the government. They can dilute their crypto. And so all crypto, in my opinion, is a fraud. Bitcoin is actually an important technological innovation, which is immutable digital scarcity, full stop. So let me say that. A lot of people are mad at crypto, and they should be. And where Warren is coming from and where this choke point thing is coming from is partly out of embarrassment. I mean, Sam Bankman-Fried, basically rug pulled, billions, literally billions of dollars, bigger than Bernie Madoff, right? Billions of dollars of capital from unsuspecting investors who had money in his FTX organization. And where was the SEC when this was going down? I mean, those of us in the crypto industry.
That is true. Where was the SEC, right? They didn't really, yeah. I don't remember them doing anything about, FTX or anything like that. I just don't
In the
remember.
investment industry focused on Bitcoin, we knew Bankman-Fried was a fraud. We were like that guy who was calling out Madoff, Markopoulos. I mean, we basically knew Bankman-Fried was a fraud. It was so obvious. And yet, Gary Gensler was sitting on his thumbs. And there's some who've even said, as you pointed out pre-show, that maybe it was intentional. They wanted to blow up crypto. But the point is, the horse escaped, and now Washington is embarrassed, and they're trying to close the barn door. And that's just wrong. They're not making a distinction between crypto and Bitcoin. And more importantly, the horse has already escaped. So I'm not quite sure where she's coming from. I think she probably pulled it, and it'll get her votes. She's a corrupt politician. She's never had a salary of over $250,000 a year, and she has a $60 million net worth. How does that happen? And it's shocking.
Yeah. A lot of that happening in Congress. Nancy Pelosi, one of the greatest traders of all time.
Exactly. Arguably. It's horrible. So, but having said that, I think it goes beyond that, because we can move into choke point and the restrict.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because we've got Senator Warren, and as you said, the FTX collapse really laid the groundwork for regulators to march in with ferocity and indignation. And there is speculation, purely speculation, that perhaps the FTX collapse was engineered intentionally in order to lay down the groundwork for a potential Bitcoin ban or cryptocurrency attack, because it is such a threat to traditional finance. So we have the obvious attempts, like Senator Warren, coming out there guns blazing, saying big anti-crypto army ahead. But then there are the less obvious attempts, the more subtle ones, which perhaps...
And who've talked to a lot of the people in D.C. know, the government has made a very concerted effort to try and shut down banks that are helping the crypto industry. In fact, Barney Frank, who was the author of, Dodd-Frank, was on the board of Signature Bank, and Signature Bank was shut down by the government, and it was not in trouble. And the reason they shut it down is because it was doing a lot of business with these crypto companies, and they didn't like that. We've also seen a company called Custodia, run by a woman named Caitlin Long, who's very active on Twitter. It's a company right now, MasterCard and Visa are charging, 3% or 300 basis points on every single transaction you make using their cards. This would effectively destroy their businesses. And so
currency, that's is very vague.
The people who run the system, they're very, very rich, and they're very, very powerful, and they want to defend the system to try to force all of our, and we know the Fed has one, and we know they beta test. The scandemic was probably a trial run of some other control mechanisms that they want to use on us in the future. So I don't put anything past these people in power. But I actually am rather optimistic that, America educate as many of our fellow citizens that, hey, this is a woman who got paid
I'm just trying to get to the bit where he actually talks about Bitcoin and all that. He's talking about central banks and digital currencies right here. I think it's the other
Technical analysis and retail trading charts are junk. Put them all in the dustbin. Don't believe.
It's going to change. It literally changes the balance of power between individuals and governments.
That may wanted to saying that the destruction
keeps track of them. And fortunately, the amount of Bitcoin derivatives is very small compared to the Bitcoin outstanding and compared to the gold market. They've had 50 plus years to build the paper gold market. And it's not even up for debate anymore. The gold price is massively manipulated as a result of the paper. They could try and do the same thing with Bitcoin, and I think there's a possibility that they will. It's going to be harder because it's more volatile. I mean, Bitcoin has gone up 5x in less than a year and a half. Gold's never done that.
Exactly.
But they have...
See, this is why I will say, guys, right? For the people that like to invest into gold, like, gold doesn't move. Yes, I understand Bitcoin is volatile and all that, but gold, right, even though, yes, it's hold its value most of the time, but it hasn't moved, right? And gold has been around for literally decades, like years on and years on. Bitcoin has only been around for over 13 years, right? And has performed so much better than gold, right? And yes, I do believe eventually Bitcoin's market cap will catch up to gold's market cap. Eventually, right, in the next few years.
have a printing press, and if you have a printing press and you take big losses and you can just print the whole, it doesn't really matter. And that's, of course, what they've done when they've had to in the gold market. So my strong belief is that when Bitcoiners win and Bitcoiners and gold people win and sound money advocates have control of the government, because we've got all the marbles, which is how I see the future going, that one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to outlaw financial derivatives, because Buffett's right. They are weapons of mass destruction. They're also weapons of control. Basically, financial derivatives say that whoever is the final backstop or whoever has control of the printing press wins by definition, because they can just print more money. I mean, you can always increase the size of the bet. And so financial derivatives need to be banned. And the threat of derivatives to Bitcoin is real, but it's not large yet. I say yet because as things go down the road, it could become more real. But it's something we can thing. If it's not anything that's good, why does it threaten them? And
amount of gold that they truly.
What we don't know is if the government's involved.
Okay.
But we do know that Russian utilities who have excess cheap power are using it to mine Bitcoin. We know that for a fact. Do those utilities have the blessing of the government? And does the government believe in it? We don't know. Mm-hmm. But they are, I do believe, both Russia and China, from reading their internal papers and hearing their speeches.
See, in terms of adoption, we've discussed the adoption, the mass adoption as it applies.
Had a theory that said that
Bitcoin is on that adoption curve.
Yeah, sure. So Malcolm Gladwell had a theory that said that, and he looked at a lot of developments, historical developments of technologies, autos, washing machines, cell phones, computers. And what it says is the amount of time it takes from 0% penetration to 10% penetration of the population, the number of years that takes, then in turn, the next set of that number of years gets you from 10% to 90%. So, in this case, in the Bitcoin case, it was, 14 years old. And I think we estimate that about 10% of the world, or 10% of the first world owns Bitcoin or is involved in Bitcoin in some form. And so, and certainly more than that are aware of it, but I'm talking about people who've actually bought some. And so if it took 14 years to get to 10%, the theory is it would take another 14 years and 90% of the world would own some Bitcoin. If it really is the technological innovation that I believe it is. And so, that would imply that we're going to go through a very big growth curve here. And, you've got this is, as a commodity, Bitcoin is, there's a fixed supply. There are only 21 million of them. It's the only, this is very interesting. It's the only commodity in the world where supply does not go up as a result of higher prices. Think about it. If gold goes to $10,000 tomorrow, we're going to mine more gold. There's just no doubt, right? Because we know where it is. It's just not economic to get it out of the ground. Whereas if Bitcoin goes to $100,000, tomorrow, there's not going to be any more Bitcoin created. So that's a very powerful thing.
Think about that. See, that's very true what he just said right there, guys. Right? Think about it. We know Bitcoin has a supply limit of 21 million. No more, no less. We can't create any more, guys. Right? So the demand will rise. Right? The price will eventually keep rising for Bitcoin.
And so, there's 7+ billion people on the planet. There are 21 million of these coins. It's a very sound form of money. As more and more people come to see, I should save in this money, the price is going to go, in my opinion, much higher. I think we'll hit 100,000, then I think we'll hit 1 million, then I think we'll ultimately hit $10 million a coin. I'm sure.
You guys heard it. Look, you guys heard it here. I know everyone has their own, personal opinions on this. Okay, everyone is different. But what he is saying, what Larry is saying here is true. I agree. You know what I mean? It will eventually reach these price targets. Now, of course, we're not talking short term. We are talking long term here, right? So let me go back a little bit.
It's a very sound form of money. As more and more people come to see, I should save in this money, the price is going to go, in my opinion, much higher. I think we'll hit 100,000, then I think we'll hit 1 million, then I think we'll ultimately hit $10 million a coin. I'm sure my grandkids will be shocked at people who own one whole coin. Being a whole coiner will be a big deal.
See, holding one full Bitcoin will be a big deal in the future. And that's why I've been telling you guys many times. I've been begging you guys to at least accumulate one Bitcoin, just one single Bitcoin. That's it. Just one coin. Okay. Yes, I know Bitcoin is really expensive. You guys probably don't have a lot of money, right? I don't know. Save up, get a job, and slowly DCA into Bitcoin and have that goal, have that mindset and that goal of accumulating and reaching that goal of, owning one full Bitcoin. right? When I first started investing into crypto, especially into Bitcoin, I've always wanted to, own one full Bitcoin. When I did, right, I was saving, I was working as hard as I can. I was trying to get as much money as I possibly can. And I kept dollar cost averaging until, I fully accumulated one full Bitcoin. And then from there on, it just got easier, right? I just kept going. I kept stacking more Bitcoin, right? So that's that, guys. Okay, that's just my personal opinion.
Let's break that down a little bit.
Right?
I mean, look, so when we see the price of Bitcoin rise, we do see mining activity accelerate, which does create more supply, but ultimately capped at 21 million, as you're saying there. So what you mentioned a couple of Bitcoin price points along the way there. Where
I think 100,000 within 2 years, maybe 150.
But we've said this before, Larry. Yeah. I can just tell the comments from the gold investors. Oh, they said 100,000 Bitcoin 2 years ago. We've already made these projections. So
look, it's extremely volatile, and it's impossible to know exactly where it's going to go. I mean, we hit 67 in the last peak, 67, 68. So we didn't make it to 100. And we hit 16 on this bottom. But if you kind of look at the pattern, you look at how far it tends to go off the bottom of the pattern, it would strike me that the next run ought to take us to about 100. And that would probably be sometime within the next 2 years. And then that 100 would probably correct down to 40, we're higher than it is today. And then the 40, wave up from there might take us to, 200, 250, something like that. I mean, it's, it tends to go in waves. I mean, we've seen these cycles since it was formed. I mean, these were at much smaller degrees, but I mean, it went to 1,000, then it went back down to 200 or 300. I mean, I bought it at 17,000 in Thanksgiving of 2017 and went down to 10, then it went down to 3,500.
And I bought this guy foamed it in. This guy bought. Wow, back in 2017. That was crazy. My guy foamed it in.
So it's quite volatile, as we've seen. But that you've got two things going on here that support it. One, you've got an adoption curve. I mean, I was involved in investing in the internet. Reminds me a lot of the internet. More and more people are becoming aware of it. More and more people are using it. The second thing you've got going on is you've got this underlying thing that's driving gold as well, which is the monetary debasement. So you've kind of got two trends that push it. One, just more and more people use it. And you really need to read a little bit about that. I highly recommend a book by Alex Gladstein called Check Your Financial Privilege, which tells you the story of how people are using it around the world, how the unbanked are using it. All you need is a smartphone, and you can make lightning transactions. And, there are poor women in Afghanistan doing technology work that couldn't figure out how to get paid. They're getting paid Bitcoin on their smartphone through the Lightning Network. And there are, thousands of stories like that. Domestics working overseas, sending their money back in the form of kinds of applications as time goes by. And, the fixed supply and the fact that a 5-year perspective, there's never been a 5-year period where even if you started buying Bitcoin at the peak at $68,000 a year and change ago, and you bought an equal amount between then and today, every week, you just turned positive on your investments because it was 68, it went down to 16, and it's called dollar cost averaging.
Dollar cost averaging, yeah.
There we have it.
And now it's at 30, and you're positive. You're net ahead, even though you started buying at 68. So it's and that's how I recommend people to do it. Actually, is to dollar cost average into it because it is volatile. There's no doubt.
Yep. All right, Larry, we're running out of time here. Do you have
to dollar cost average into Bitcoin? But that's that, guys. That's Larry Leopard for you. Okay, he predicts that Bitcoin will reach 100K in 2024, and that's not crazy. That will happen, right? I've been telling you guys that many times, right? That yes, Bitcoin will eventually reach 100K in the year 2024. Now, $10 million. That's crazy. Okay, that's something that's not gonna happen in the next 10 years, right? That's probably going to happen in the next, 20 years or so. Who knows, right? No one realistically really knows, but do I think Bitcoin has the potential to reach 10 million? I do. Call me crazy, but I really do. But of course, I'm talking long term. I'm not talking short term. There's no way in hell, Bitcoin in the next, let's say, decade will reach 10 million. I don't think that's possible. But 1 million? Yes, that's possible, right? In the next 10 years. Right, just like what Cathie Wood said, and she predicts that yes, Bitcoin's price will reach potentially $1 million by the year 2030. So less than 7 years from now. Not long at all, guys. Not long at all. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your personal thoughts. If you think Bitcoin has a potential here to reach 100K in 2024, let me know. I'd love to know. But on that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I will in fact be posting more videos today, so stay tuned for that. If you guys haven't seen my most previous video, okay, today, definitely check that video out. I really would appreciate that. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end here. I hope you guys have a blessed day. As always, stay tuned for more videos tomorrow. You already know it. I will in fact be coming on the stream. Okay, once again, I appreciate all you guys that have joined the stream. Hope you guys have a blessed day as always, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Have a good one, guys.